We owe 2 billion zlotys from the European Peace Facility mechanism, which should have been in the Polish budget for a long time. It is Prime Minister Orban who is personally blocking the payment of this money to Poland. Recently, Prime Minister Orban decided to block a much larger amount of aid for Ukraine. He blocked 90 billion euros for aid to Ukraine, in a situation in which this money will probably decide the fate of the entire war. There is no exaggeration in this. Due to our complicated, let's call it this way, American policy towards Ukraine in recent weeks, the 90 billion euro loan for Ukraine prepared by the European Union may determine the fate of the entire war, and therefore also the fate of Poland in such a strategic perspective. It was Prime Minister Orban who was the only one who decided to block, using legal shortcuts, the payment of this European loan. I emphasize, Ukraine would be obliged to pay it after the end of the war. He decided to block this loan. This may have a dramatic negative impact on the geopolitical situation of the entire region, including Poland in particular. Prime Minister Orban, from the very beginning of the Ukrainian war, has consistently opposed the new energy policy of the European Union, which was largely driven by Polish efforts and based on Polish recommendations. It was Poland, already in 2014, when I announced the idea of the Energy Union, and then for many years, various Polish governments demanded independence of Poland and Europe from the supply of energy resources from Russia. Prime Minister Orban is doing everything to make this dependence our everyday life again. Energy cooperation between Prime Minister Orban and Moscow is consistent in many areas. It is not only oil, it is also nuclear energy. But what is most striking at the moment are Prime Minister Orban's attempts to restore normal business with Russia when it comes to energy. It is also not insignificant the fact that Prime Minister Orban has built a model that should, at least theoretically, arouse the outrage of President Nawrocki and his political background. At least theoretically, a model of a corrupt state. In the interest of Poland, this is not the support of Prime Minister Orban in his pro-Russian and anti-European actions. I have heard these words many times. It is not only President Nawrocki who likes to quote Roman Dmowski, so I want to paraphrase these words very clearly. You are the President of Poland, and you have Polish duties, not Russian. And that is why we would expect that in the matter of international politics, and especially in such sensitive situations as Russian, Ukrainian, European, the President supported the international policy guided by the government and did not act against Polish interests. These are strong words, but I know what I am talking about. The actions of the last few days and weeks are actions aimed directly at the fundamental interests of Poland and its security.